Today we're starting off on another Swiss adventure. We're leaving our hotel in Locarno on a day trip. We'll be back the same night, boarding our very nice, comfortable Swiss local train. We'll be spending most of this day down visiting Lugano, another wonderful city in the south of Switzerland. Easy to get there by train. Of course, we enjoy some lovely scenery along the way, passing the lakes and the farms, and of course some mountains off in the distance. It's a 1-hour journey from Locarno to Lugano, and you do change trains once along the way. It's all very highly coordinated, so you don't have to rush when you're changing. And this train service is very frequent. There are 2 trains every hour between Locarno and Lugano, so it makes it really easy to get around. When you arrive at the Lugano station, you are not yet in the town. The station is up above the town on the hillside, so you go down via a funicular. It's called the Funiculare Lugano Città Stazione, and it's a short line that connects the railway station down to the city center. They do have 2 other funiculares in Lugano, which go up the hills to various vantage points where you can get scenic views. On a previous visit to Lugano many years ago, we stayed overnight at the Hotel Lugano Dante, and it was great. A 4-star hotel right in the heart of town at the foot of the funicular. Right away, you discover some special features about Lugano and the historic center of town, especially these arcades. They go for many blocks, lining both sides of the street with covered sidewalk areas. It's really a calm and sheltered environment, protect you from the rain and from the sun. Kind of looks like a medieval cloister, but this was typical of various Swiss towns. Bern is a fine example of an arcaded city, and here in Lugano we have got arcades all throughout the historic center. This style of columns and arches is also reminiscent somewhat of the Italian architecture. After all, we are right next to Italy here in Lugano. And you also see that feeling of Italy in the piazzas, the big open square. The biggest piazza in town is here at the Piazza della Riforma. And there's sidewalk restaurants all around. There's some bank buildings and the grand town hall. It was built in the mid-19th century and still preserves that grand old style. Constructed on the site of a much earlier bishop's palace, it's been the city hall since 1890. You can see in this map of central Lugano, it's a small historic area, very easy to explore on foot. It's about 10 blocks wide, and there's a lovely waterfront that we're going to go check out. We came across a couple of big water fountains with sculptural centerpiece and flowers around them made a great photo op. Notice the soldiers doing some civic work. They're setting up barricades for a foot race that was about to happen. We're heading down to the waterfront for a little look. It's kind of a reconnaissance. We'll be coming back here later in the afternoon to take the boat over to a nearby village of Gondria. But for now, we're just checking it out, joining the locals with their dogs along the promenade and saying hello to this friendly doggy. We have a lot more to see in the old town of Lugano, such as this shopping passage. This is in the real old-fashioned style, almost a Parisian influence here. Even some of the larger streets with automobile traffic have got these lovely arcades, the basic architectural theme of the old town. The downtown business section has quite a few banks, so many that Lugano is the 3rd largest banking center of Switzerland. We're back in the pedestrian zone, and you've just got to love how well it works. It's intersection of streets and people walking here and there. It's so friendly and sociable, makes for a great atmosphere. Of course, the stores thrive in this kind of environment. It's really one big shopping mall. The retail anchor of downtown is the major department store, Manor, which also had a very nice flower display out front, showing off the famous flower of Switzerland, the Edelweiss. This department store is also famous for its food court, where you can get a whole variety of different foods, sandwiches, hot foods, cafeteria style, at a very reasonable price. And there's a friendly atmosphere that makes it easy to strike up a conversation with some locals if you like. Some well-behaved local school kids out for a day's excursion. Get a friendly wave as they go by. We really enjoyed stopping at this famous gourmet food shop, Gabani. They've been in business here since 1937, and they've really branched out. They've got a wine shop, a cheese shop, and they even run a small hotel that's ranked very highly on TripAdvisor. It's ranked number 3 out of the small hotels in town. There are a number of these excellent food shops right in the heart of the old town where you can get a sandwich to go, you could get salads to go, maybe just get a loaf of bread or get some fresh fruits, or just enjoy the vision of these beautiful foods. The vegetables, the fruits are perfect. These sidewalk stands are open every day, but there's also a special farmers market that happens on the city streets every Tuesday morning and Friday morning from 7 till noon. This area is also world famous for its chocolates. In fact, there's a chocolate factory just outside the city that you can visit, the Alpros, and you can see how they make their chocolates. Pastries line the window of the Grand Cafe, which has been in business since 1803 and has a famous interior that was a medieval convent. In the typical European style, you've got fresh bakeries with a variety of types of breads and a lot of outdoor sidewalk restaurants. They have a canopy overhead for a little protection, and they can sit outdoors here for most of the year with the mild climate of the Lugano area. Another feature that makes Lugano so attractive are the Hillside Streets. It's just so much more interesting than being in a flatland town. They've got staircase streets, they've got gently sloping streets, and it's all for pedestrians. It's a small part of town. It's the section that just goes up the hill alongside the funicular, but it really is a lot of fun to check it out. Some of the restaurants put tables out on the staircase streets. That would be a nice place to eat on a nice day. And even though it's a little bit of work to walk up the steps, it's a very popular retail center. It's the kind of backbeat neighborhood with some quirky little boutiques and unique shops and artists and craftspeople. You'll run into some real characters here. Custom-made clothing and jewelry and a whole variety of fun things to look at. And of course they've got cafes, bars, and restaurants. It's the kind of neighborhood that would be very easy to miss, or you might be easily discouraged if you get to the foot of one of those hills and look up and think, oh, no, I don't want to walk up that hill. But really, it's not difficult at all. The slope is very gradual. You walk up, you walk down. There's about 4 of these wonderful hilly streets. And then you can let the funiculare take you back up the hill. You don't have to walk all the way up, although you could. There is a staircase there too. Up to the train station, where you can catch your train to resume your journey. In our case, we'll be going back over to nearby Locarno. It's about 1 hour away by train. And that's where we've been spending a few nights in our visit to the Ticino in the south of Switzerland. We do have another story about the Lugano area that we're going to be presenting in a separate episode, and that's about our excursion by boat over to the little waterfront village of Gondria. So look for that on our YouTube channel. And we also have many other movies about Switzerland and about the Ticino. We've been taking you to Locarno and Ascona and other places in the region. So have a look at our YouTube channel and subscribe so you can be informed about all of our latest uploads. You can see how easy it is to get around by train in Europe, and especially in Switzerland. Everything runs on schedule, it's always clean, the equipment is in top shape, usually relatively new trains, and it's just a joy to ride along. I don't think you'd want to rent a car, especially when you're in Switzerland. Take advantage of these great trains. Arriving back in Locarno after a long and satisfying day.